What's up guys, I'm Sean and welcome back to the channel. When you mention the word additives to someone, you tend to get one of three reactions. Either they are a regular user of them, they have a strong distrust and skepticism of them, or they are pretty much unaware of what they are and whether or not they should use them. What this tells us is that there's still a lot to be discussed and understood about additives, especially considering how there are probably about a zillion different products on the market, many even being offered by some of the biggest oil companies in the world. Well, today, I'm going to attempt to explain what additives really are, what the different types do, and whether you should be using them. So before we begin, I'd just like to say that this video is not sponsored, but we will be featuring some of the products that we carry as an example of the different types of additives that are available on the market. So now, additives are basically chemicals that are added into our lubricants and fuels such as engine oil and petrol to either enhance their properties or add additional properties to them. The idea here is to reduce your need to open up the engine to perform physical repairs and instead use chemicals to help reduce wear and tear, prolong the effectiveness of lubricants and fuels, keep the internals clean, and chemically repair and recondition internal components such as gaskets and oil seals. Now, the oils and fuels that we regularly use do actually already contain some additives added in by the manufacturer. The amounts they contain, however, can vary quite widely and are generally the main reason for the difference in prices. Even so, the majority of these fuels and oils contain relatively minimal amounts of these additives, hence comes the argument that additional additive supplements can be beneficial to your engine. Let's now go through some of the different types of additives that are available on the market, what they are designed to do, and whether or not you should consider using them. The first type of additive are those that are meant to clean the internals of your engine. One of the most popular being engine flush. You see, as your engine runs, the internals do inevitably get dirty. A good engine oil has detergents added in to help dissolve and collect this dirt over time so that it gets drained out whenever you do an oil change. Over time, however, deposits can build up in the hardest to reach areas of the engine, which can't be easily cleared out with a simple oil change. Engine flush is basically a large amount of detergent that is added into your existing engine oil and allowed to run for several minutes before being drained out. This helps to dissolve and clear as much of these built-up deposits as possible, making the internal of your engine cleaner. As these products tend to be quite concentrated, however, I would advise against using them too regularly as it may prematurely wear out your seals. I generally prefer to stick to doing a flush not more than once or twice a year. Also, in the case of much older cars that have never been flushed before, I would be wary of doing an engine flush and probably seek professional advice, as these cars tend to have many years of built-up deposits which may in fact be covering up some leaks internally which would otherwise be exposed if they were just flushed away. Another popular additive is this valve cleaner. These are added into your fuel tank to help clean the valves in your engine that the fuel flows through. You see, over time, the fuel in your system can actually form a sticky build-up on certain surfaces inside your engine called varnish. This varnish is one of the reasons why you lose fuel efficiency and responsiveness over time. While our fuel does already contain some additives added in by the manufacturer to help clear out this varnish, it is generally quite minimal and not enough to prevent this varnish from building up over time. This is why such additives are so popular, as they are generally pretty inexpensive and very easy to use. You can literally just buy them off the shelf, pour them into your fuel tank, and let it work by itself. The next type of additive we have are those that are meant to protect the internals of your engine. So examples we have here are such as Liqui CeraTec and oil additive, also known as Moss 2. So what these products do is they basically apply a protective coating over the metal surfaces on the inside of your engine. In doing so, it provides protection between the metal surfaces sliding across each other inside your engine. Think of it basically as like applying a screen protector to your phone or tablet. Another thing it also does is that it fills up the imperfections on the surface of the metals, which smoothens it out and results in lower friction, less wear, better responsiveness, and better fuel efficiency. So Liqui Moly oil additive is the cheaper of the two products that we have here, but it also happens to be the pioneer of Liqui Moly's brand name and technologies. So basically what this does is that after pouring it into your engine oil, it forms a smooth and solid layer of protection over the metal surfaces, which protects and reduces friction in your engine. CeraTec, on the other hand, goes a step further. So instead of simply forming a protective solid layer over the metal surfaces, it works by having two friction reducing agents. Firstly, it creates a protective chemical layer over the metal surfaces, which smoothens out imperfections and hardens the surface. Additionally, a solid agent comprising of ceramic nanoparticles go on top of the surface, which further reduces the friction and wear between these surfaces for maximum protection. We personally use this ourselves, and like our customers, we have found that it gives us a quieter, more fuel efficient, and responsive ride. For maximum value, we recommend alternating between these two products between oil changes. As the solid agent from CeraTec does get flushed out with every oil change, instead of shelling out for CeraTec every single time, you can instead replenish the solid agent from CeraTec by using the cheaper oil additive during every other oil change. Now here we come to stabilizers, and one such example that we have is Viscoplus. So the purpose of these types of additives is to keep the oils and in some cases the fuels from losing its characteristics over a prolonged period of time or under extreme circumstances. Viscoplus in particular here is used to help maintain your engine oil's viscosity at higher temperatures, where oil does have the tendency to lose its viscosity and either burn off or provide lesser protection. There are also products such as fuel stabilizers, which are designed to keep the composition of the fuel stable over long periods of storage. This is especially useful for classic car collectors who seldom drive their vehicles and keep them in storage over a period of several years. So we also have some additives that are meant to help repair engine issues like leaks without having to open up the engine and physically replace the seals. Products such as Motor Oil Saver that we have here reconditions hardened seals and helps to seal them up to regain their sealing abilities. Now these products are effective for more minor leaks and to be used as a conservative repair option before completely opening up the engine and replacing the seals. Take note that while this product can be used either for preventive maintenance or as a conservative repair option, you do not want to apply it too regularly as it can cause overswelling of the seals. We recommend not to use it more than every 2 years or 30,000 kilometers. The last one that we'll talk about today are Octane Boosters. Now I'm sure you've seen plenty of these at your local petrol station and often wondered, are they any good? Well, I would say that these are largely irrelevant in Singapore as the quality of our petrol here is pretty good. Octane boosters would actually be more applicable to places like the US, where petrol quality tends to not be as high, with high octane fuels sometimes being quite hard to find. In those cases, Octane booster would be useful to help prevent pre-ignition and knocking in high compression engines. In our case, however, unless you have a very specific use for it, such as very high performance race engines, I would say for the majority of cars in Singapore, they are largely irrelevant. Now comes the question, should you use additives? So think of it like this. Our human body requires a certain amount of vitamins and nutrients in order to function properly. We tend to get most of these from the food we eat, but sometimes our diet lacks certain vitamins that we actually need more of, hence why some people end up taking vitamin supplements. Additives are just like these supplements that help to maintain and improve the health of your car, where its normal diet of regular engine oil and fuel do not provide as much of. Now, a modern car is unlikely to develop any major issues for a very long time, even if you decide not to use any additives at all. However, if you would like to keep your car as healthy for as long as possible, having some additives can be beneficial in the long run. Just like vitamins, however, an unhealthy overdose of additives will end up causing problems, so it is very important to know exactly what you are adding, how often you are adding them, and how you should be adding them. But even so, do not be afraid of using additives, as they can be very useful as long as you understand how to use them. If you are ever in doubt, please consult a professional for their advice. So that wraps things up today. I hope you found this video useful. Please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It costs you nothing, but it helps us out a lot, and I will see you in the next video.